Hello, students. So, the topic that we are going to cover today is current electricity, example 3.5 to 3.7, NCRT section 3.12 say 3.13. Disclaimer: the images, text, and other materials used in our presentations are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners. If you are the owner and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathi@iit.k iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the content immediately. Please note that the parts of the content may have been generated using generative AI, which is experimental. So, the learning objectives of the topic that we are going to discuss today. So, the topic that we are going to cover today is Kirchhoff rules and Wheatstone bridge. So, learning objectives are understand and apply Kirchhoff's current law to determine currents at junction points in electrical circuits. Apply Kirchhoff's voltage law to analyze voltage drops around closed loop in circuits. Comprehend the basic structure and working principle of Wheatstone bridge circuit. Calculate unknown resistance values using the Wheatstone bridge balanced condition formula. Analyze the practical applications of Wheatstone bridge in electrical measurements and sensing. Understood the concept of bridge balancing and its importance in precise resistance measurements. So our first topic, our indexes, the topics that we are going to discuss today is NCRT section 3.12, Kirchhoff's rules, example 3.5, example 3.6, NCRT section 3.13, Wheatstone bridge, and example 3.7. So our first topic is Kirchhoff's rules. So in electrical circuits, many resistors and cells are interconnected, sometimes in a complicated way. Okay, we have discussed the combination series and parallel. That is simple combination. We can find whether resistors are connected in series and parallel, and applying the formula for series and parallel combination, we can find the equivalent resistance. But in some electrical circuits, they are very complicated. You cannot determine that whether they are connected in parallel or series. Okay, so in some electrical circuits, many resistors and cells are interconnected, sometimes in a complicated way. In that condition, simple formulae for series and parallel combinations are not enough to find all the currents and potential difference in the circuits. Okay, so in that condition, simple formula for series combination and parallel combination are not sufficient. Okay, so we cannot apply directly because we cannot determine whether the resistor is connected in parallel or series. Okay, so we cannot apply the direct formulas to find all the currents and potential differences in the circuit. In that state, we use two Kirchhoff's rules to solve complex circuit problems. So Kirchhoff's rules are, first Kirchhoff law is Kirchhoff's current law or junction rule, and second one is Kirchhoff's voltage law or loop rule. So first law, Kirchhoff's current law or junction rule. Okay, the junction rule states that at any junction, sum of incoming currents equal to sum of outgoing currents. Okay, so junction is a point where all the wires in the circuit are connecting, are joined. Okay, there is a junction, there is a point at which a number of wires from different sections of the circuit are connected. Okay, so sum of incoming currents in that junction should be equal to the sum of outgoing currents. This is the first rule, that is junction rule or Kirchhoff's current law. Sum of currents entering the junction must be equal to sum of currents leaving that junction. So this is diagrammatic representation. There is a junction O, a point where all the wires or connecting wires are joined from different sections of the circuits. Okay, so this figure incoming and outgoing currents at a junction O. Okay, so I1, you can see I1 and I2 current are coming towards the junction, but current I3, I4 and I5 are going outwards, going away from the junction. Okay, so that incoming, that are the currents that are coming towards the junction, like I1 and I2, they are incoming currents or currents entering a junction. And the currents that are going away from the junction are known as currents leaving the junction or outgoing currents. Okay, that words, that particular notation, that particular indication we can use for outgoing currents. Okay, we can use outgoing currents or we can use current leaving the junction. That terminology will be used in the entire topic. Okay, current leaving the junction means outgoing current, or current entering a junction is incoming currents. So as we can see in figure above, I1 and I2 are the currents that are entering the junction, and I3, I4 and I5 are the currents leaving the junction. According to junction rule, I1 plus I2 equal to I3 plus I4 plus I5. Okay, so sum of currents entering the junction must be equal to sum of currents leaving that junction. Okay, so here I1 and I2 are incoming currents that are entering the junction, or I3, I4 and I5 are the currents outgoing currents. Okay, currents leaving the junction. So sum of both these currents should be equal. That is Kirchhoff's current law or junction rule. The rule applies when a steady current is flowing, meaning there's a constant rate of charge flow. Okay, this rule applies when there is a steady current in the circuit. Okay, not for variable current, because variable current is changing after some time. Okay, we cannot determine that current entering the junction is equal to the current leaving the junction. Okay, after some time the value of current can change. Okay, so that sum will not be same. It may be more or less than the current entering the junction. Okay, current leaving the junction may be more than or less than in the case of non-steady currents, if current is changing in the wire with respect to time. Okay, but this rule applies only for a steady currents when there is a constant current in the circuit, meaning there is a constant rate of charge flows. Okay, rate of charge flow with respect to time is current. Okay, so there's a constant rate of charge flow means there's a steady current in the circuit. So Kirchhoff's current rule is based on conservation of charge. So how this rule is based on conservation of charge? Okay, we have mentioned that current entering the junction and current leaving the junction should be same. Okay, so we know that what is current? It is rate of charge flow with respect to time. Okay, for a particular same time interval, the flow of charges that is entering the junction, the charges that are entering the junction should be equal to the charges that are leaving the junction. So it is based on conservation of charge. KCL, which is Kirchhoff's current law, shows that when currents are steady, there is no accumulation of charges at junction. Okay, so same amount of current will be leaving the junction that equal to the current entering the junction. Okay, the amount that is leaving the junction should be equal to or must be equal to the current amount of current entering the junction. What this thing means that there is no accumulation of charges at junction. Okay, junction is not accumulating any charge. Okay, if junction is accumulating any charge that is entering the junction, so the charges that are leaving the junction should be less than the entering charges. Okay, if junction is accumulating or summing up some charges, then charges that are leaving the junction, amount of charges that are leaving the junction should be less than the amount of charges that were entering the junction. Okay, but according to Kirchhoff current law or junction rule, the amount should be or must be same. So it means there is no accumulation of charges at any junction. Since no charges accumulate at junction, this shows that KCL follows law of conservation of charge. Okay, so no charges accumulate at junction. Junction cannot accumulate any charges. Okay, so since no charges accumulate at junction, this shows that KCL follows law of conservation of charge. If at any instant, if means some condition. If at any instant charges are being accumulated at junction, then current entering and leaving the junction will not be same. Okay, if at any instant, this is a situation. Okay, if charges are being accumulated at junction, then the current entering and leaving the junction will not be same, or charges, amount of charges entering or leaving the junction for a given time interval will not be same. Okay, so if charges start accumulating at junction, net current after crossing the junction would change. Okay, if some amount of charges are accumulated at the junction, then net current after crossing the junction, that is current after leaving the junction, would change, and junction rule would not hold. Okay, so for junction rule to be true, there should not be any accumulation of charges at the junction. Okay, so according to this, Kirchhoff's current rule is based on conservation of charge. Kirchhoff's voltage law or loop rule. It is also known as mesh rule. Kirchhoff's voltage rule, okay, states that the algebraic sum of changes in potential around any closed loop involving resistors and cells in the loop is zero. Okay, so it is the algebraic sum. It is a simple sum of changes in potential. Okay, so changes in potential across various components around any closed loop, around any closed path involving resistors. These components can be resistors, these components can be cells. In the loop is zero. Okay, if we take algebraic sum of changes in potential across all the components in the circuit, closed path, in a closed path or closed loop, then the sum of all the changes in algebraic sum of changes in potential around any closed loop is zero. Okay, we will understand it in easier manner. Going around a loop. Okay, there is some loop that is around a closed path starting from a point and ending on same point. Okay, you are starting from a point, and after covering some distance, after going through some path, you are coming to same distance. Same point. So going around a loop, around a closed path starting from a point and ending on the same point in the circuit. Potential gain and potential drop across various components must cancel out. Okay, there is some potential gain on some components, there is some potential drop across some components. Okay, so potential gain means increase in potential. Okay, so increase in potential is due to the cell or battery. They will maintain the potential in the circuit. Okay, so potential gain is due to cell or battery. Or what is potential drop? The loss of potential, which is across other components like resistors. Okay, there is a potential drop across resistor. What is that? I into R. What is the potential drop across resistor? V equal to IR according to Ohm's law. So that IR is the potential drop. So this is a diagram for this. You can see this is a closed loop. Okay, closed path. And across this closed path, what components are being connected? First one is battery of 20 volt. Okay, that is shown by plus minus and Vs. Okay, so this is 20 volt battery and 3 resistors are connected in series across a closed path. So R1 equal to 15 ohm, R2 equal to 20 ohm, R3 equal to 5 ohm. Okay, so this is if we start from this battery, 20 volt battery, and after going through that closed path, after going through that all the 3 resistor, and we come to that point battery. Okay, after starting from battery and after covering this whole closed path and again coming to that battery, then the potential change in potential across the closed path will be 0. Why? Because gain in potential, that is at battery. Due to battery, there is a gain in potential. So gain in potential will be equal to potential drop. So potential drop will be due to these 3 resistors. As shown in the above figure, if battery gives plus 20 volt, other component must drop total minus 20 volt. Okay, according to Kirchhoff's voltage law, the potential change in potential around a closed loop will be zero. Okay, so if battery gives 20 volt in the circuit, if we starting from battery, it is giving 20 volt. So other component must drop. So combination of all the components that are connected other than battery, so they combined should give total drop of minus 20 volt. Okay, so some amount of potential drop at R1, some amount of potential drop at R2, some amount of potential drop at R3. Okay, so potential drop at R1, R2 and R3 combined should give minus 20 volt. Okay, so as shown in the above figure, if battery gives plus 20 volt, other components must drop total minus 20 volt. Thus, sum of all the voltages around a loop, if we take the sum of all the voltages around a loop, so plus 20 volt due to battery and potential drop, since it is potential drop, loss in potential as we move in circuit, so it is minus 20 volt. So net change in potential will be zero. Gain in potential at battery, that is plus 20 volt, and loss in potential or drop in potential at other components should be minus 20 volt, which will result in zero. So loop rule is based on conservation of energy. Okay, you can remember this is conceptual question. Okay, so this is very important. You should remember that Kirchhoff's junction rule is based on conservation of charge, and Kirchhoff's voltage law is based on conservation of energy. Okay, how? If a charge starts at a certain potential, okay, like in the diagram we are starting from battery. So at what potential the charge is starting? At 20 volt, plus 20 volt. Okay, if a charge starts at certain potential, it gains energy when there is a potential gain across a component like cell or battery. Okay, if some charge is moving in the circuit, okay, current is due to the movement of charges. If a charge starts at certain potential, it gains energy when there is a potential gain. Okay, when there is a potential gain or increase in potential across a component, then it gains energy. So it gains energy when there is a potential gain across a component like cell or battery. It loses energy when there is a potential drop through components like resistors, eventually returning to its original starting potential. Okay, it loses energy when there is a potential drop through components like resistors, as we can see in diagram. It will gain energy when there is a potential gain at the battery, and it will lose energy when there is a potential drop at resistors. Since potential gain is equal to the potential drop in a loop, so eventually returning to its original starting potential. So it will return to its original starting potential. Okay, so at original starting point, so difference in potential in initial and final condition will be zero. Okay, so potential difference is zero, then energy will remain conserved. So total energy gained or lost by charge particle is given by delta U is equal to Q into delta V. Okay, so it is returning to same potential again in a loop, because it is starting from battery, it is returning to same battery. So it is coming to same point, same potential. So energy gained or lost by a charge particle is given by delta U equal to Q delta V. Okay, since charge particle is returning the same point in a loop, okay, since it is moving around a loop, it is coming to same point. So delta V, potential difference will be zero. Final minus initial will be zero, which indicates delta U equal to zero. So change in energy will be zero. So Ui equal to U final. So initial energy will be equal to final energy, since it is coming to same point. Okay, energy is also conservative. Okay, it's also depends on position. So its initial and final position is same. So since potential difference is zero, So energy, change in energy will be zero. Means initial energy will be equal to final energy. So energy is conserved. So Kirchhoff's voltage law or loop rule is based on conservation of energy. These two rules work together to analyze complex circuits. Like this is the figure 3.15 circuit with 5 resistor and 2 batteries mixed in series and parallel setup. Okay, so this is the diagram, figure 3.15. As shown in the figure at junction A. So at junction A, at point A, that is junction. So here I3 is equal to I1 plus I2. Why? Because I3 is at this junction A in the diagram. You can see I3 is incoming current entering the junction, and both I1 and I2 are currents leaving the junction. Okay, outgoing currents. So incoming current should be equal to or must be equal to outgoing currents. So I3 will be equal to I1 plus I2. Got it? And at H, you can see in the diagram at H point, entering current equals to leaving current, that is I1. Okay, so I1 current is going through that point. So I1 current is entering and I1 current is leaving the H point. Okay, so now you can understand from this diagram that what is junction rule. Now, loop rule for AHDCBA. Okay, you can see AHDCBA. So this is above upper part of the circuit. Okay, you can see AHDCBA. That is upper part of the circuit. Okay, so loop rule for this circuit, minus 30 I1. What is minus 30 I1? So we are moving in the direction of current. Okay, we are moving from A point. Let's start from A point and start moving in the direction of current. Okay, start from A point, starting from A point, moving in the direction of I1 current. Okay, you first met with which resistor? 30 ohm resistor. Okay, your first meeting is with 30 ohm resistor. Okay, so at this 30 ohm resistor, there is a potential drop. Means potential is decreasing. There is a potential drop at this. If we are moving in the direction of current, okay, if we are moving in a loop in the direction of current, then potential drop across the resistor will be taken in negative. If we are moving in the direction opposite to the current in a loop, okay, if we are moving in the direction opposite to the current in a loop, then potential drop across the resistor will be added, will be positive. Got it? These two things you should remember, that if we are moving in the direction of current in a loop, then there is a potential drop, okay, that we will take in negative sign. Or if we are moving against the direction of current in a loop, then potential drop across the resistor will be taken as positive sign. Okay, so we are moving in the direction of current I1 from A point, and our first meeting is with 30 ohm resistor. Okay, so now we are moving in the direction of current. So minus 30I. What is I1? Is the current that is flowing through that resistor. Okay, so what is the potential drop according to Ohm's law? V equal to IR. Okay, so here what is the potential drop across 30 ohm resistor will be? What is the current flowing through it? I1. So minus I1 R. What is R? 30 ohm. Minus sign is due to potential drop because we are moving in the direction of current. So minus 30 I1. Now moving from to H point, then to D point, then moving from D point to C point. Okay, moving from D point to C point. Now we are moving in the direction of current. And battery, now in the case of battery, you should see the terminals. Okay, so now battery is connected, like positive terminal is connected to C point and negative terminal connected to D point. So direction of current from the battery should be in the direction of D to C. Okay, so due to this battery, direction of current should be D to C, or we can say C to B. Okay, so you can see the direction of I3. It is also from C to B in that section, also C to B, and due to this battery, current flow through C to B also. So both the direction is same, so we will take it as positive. Okay, in the case of battery, that thing that if we are moving in the direction of current and if we are meeting with some resistor, then potential difference will be taken as negative. That is for resistor. If we met with an battery, okay, if we met with the battery, what should we do? If the current due to that battery is in same direction as given in the circuit, so current due to that battery is in direction from C to B, and I3 is also from C to B. So we will take it as positive 45 volt. Okay, so in equation we have taken for positive 45. Now through resistor 1 ohm, through resistor 1 ohm and 40 ohm, I3 current is flowing. And what is the direction? We are moving in the direction of current. Okay, so potential drop will be, what is the direct? So 41 ohm. Okay, 41 I3. And loop rule for A, H, D, E, F, G, A gives. Now for second loop, for the below part, A, H, D, E, F, G, A, whole loop. You can see A, H, D, E, F, G, A. This loop. Okay, in this loop we can see minus 30 I1 and then 20 ohm resistor is there, and what resistor is there? 1 ohm. Okay, so 21 plus 21 I2 because current has opposite direction, and in battery is also in opposite direction. Okay, so we are moving in the opposite direction of current. So minus 80 volt equal to 0. So the terms in each equation represents the coefficient of currents, like minus 30, 41 and 21 represent the resistance. Okay, so the coefficient of currents represents the resistance, as we have already mentioned. And the constant terms 45 and minus 80, what are they representing? Represent the voltage sources in the loop. Okay, and sign depends on the direction of traversal and current flow. Okay, as I have already mentioned that the signs depends on what thing, that in which direction we are moving and in which direction current is there. Okay, if we are moving in the same direction of current, then across the resistor there should be potential drop, which should be taken as negative. If we are moving in the direction opposite to the current and across resistor, potential drop should be taken as positive. Okay, and if we are moving across a battery, if we are moving from negative terminal to positive terminal, okay, if the direction of our movement is from negative to positive terminal, then voltage of the battery should be taken as positive. If our movement is from positive to negative terminal, then the voltage of battery should be taken as in negative form. Okay, so in 45 volt battery, we were moving from D to C. We were moving from negative terminal to positive terminal. So we took positive 45 volt. Okay, in 80 volt battery, we were moving from point E to A or E to F. So positive terminal of battery to negative terminal of battery. So 80 should be taken as minus 80 volt. Okay. In first loop, AHDCBA, minus 30 I1 represent a voltage drop across a resistor with current I1. Plus 41 I3 represents a voltage drop across a resistor with current I3. Plus 45 represent a voltage source. In second loop, AHDEFGA, minus 30 I1 represent the same resistor as in first loop with current I1. Plus 21 I2 represents a voltage drop across the resistor with current I2. And minus 80 represent a voltage source, which is 80 volt battery. Okay. So example 3.5. Okay. So battery in series and parallel we have discussed in our previous lecture. Okay. So how we can find the equivalent EMF and equivalent internal resistances. Okay. We have discussed in detail in our previous lecture. So we can use, if there are more than one or two batteries, so we can use that result also. But you will not need to use that battery. Okay. A battery of 10 volt and negligible internal resistance is connected across the diagonally opposite corners of a cubical network consisting of 12 resistors, each of resistance 1 ohm. Determine the equivalent resistance of the network and current along each edge of the cube. Okay, this diagram. This is example 3.5. This figure is 3.16. Okay, so this type of diagram is there. A battery of 10 volt is connected at E point. Okay, and negligible internal resistance. Okay, we will not take internal resistance now. Is connected across a diagonally opposite corners. Okay, diagonally opposite corner at A point and at C dash point of a cubical network consisting of 12 resistors, each of resistance 1 ohm. Okay, so there are 12 resistors, each having resistance 1 ohm. Determining the equivalent resistance of the network and current along each edge of the cube. So we can solve this problem more easily by look at how the circuit repeats the same pattern on both sides. Okay, we can take the symmetry. Okay, so there is a symmetry. The one part, if we divide this cube into half, the part on the other half and on another half. Okay, part on the half part on left side and half part on right side will show symmetry. Okay, so how the circuit repeats the same pattern on both sides. This will help us find the total resistance of the circuit. So path AA dash. Okay, you can see, you can refer the diagram. Okay, when I am speaking, the paths AA dash, AD and AB are symmetrically placed in the network and have same resistors across them. Okay, so they are symmetrically present. A is at some positive potential. Point A is at some positive potential, and this AA dash, AD and AB are symmetrically placed. Also, they have same resistors across them. These paths have same resistor R across them. Okay, so current will be same due to symmetry. Thus, current in each must be same, say I. Further, at corners A dash, B and D, incoming path is splitting into two outgoing paths having same resistor across them. Okay, so at point A dash, B and D, the incoming path is splitting into further two outgoing paths, and these outgoing paths have also same resistors because in whole circuit resistors are same. So these outgoing paths having same resistor across them. So at corners A dash, B and D, the incoming currents I must split equally, okay, into the two outgoing branches. Okay, now at point A, you can see 3I current was incoming, and at point A, the path is dividing into three outgoing paths, AA dash, AD and AB. So these three paths are similar and symmetric. Okay, so the current 3I is dividing equally among these three paths, I. Okay, so now at corner A dash, D and B, the incoming current I must split equally into two outgoing branches. Okay, so A dash is, so at corner A dash, this path is dividing into two paths, A dash D dash or A dash B dash. At point or at corner D, path is dividing into two further parts, DD dash and DC. At B point, path is further dividing into two outgoing paths, B dash and BC. Okay, so now current I will divide into half. Okay, I must split equally into two outgoing branches. Now in this manner, the current in all the 12 edges of the cube are easily written down in the terms of I. Using Kirchhoff's first rule and symmetry in the problem. So now next take a closed loop, say A, B, C, C dash, E, A, and apply Kirchhoff's second rule. Okay, now you have determined the current in each path. Now you can apply Kirchhoff's second rule, that is Kirchhoff's voltage rule. First rule is junction rule, second rule is loop rule or voltage law. So next take a closed loop, that is A, B, C, C dash, E and A. Okay, you can see in the diagram A, B, C, C dash, E, A. That closed path we are taking. So in that closed path, okay, we are moving from A point in the direction of B. Okay, in the same path that is mentioned in the loop A, B, C, C dash, E, A. We are moving according to the same direction. So from A point we are moving towards B. So now we are moving in the direction of current I. So potential drop across this resistor, first resistor, that is between A and B, would be negative, that is minus IR. Okay, now from B to C, we are now also moving in the direction of current, which is I by 2. So potential drop across this resistor that is connected between B and C will be now also negative, minus 1 by 2 IR. And in the path, now from C to C dash, also we are moving in the direction of current I. So potential drop will be minus IR. Now from C dash to E and E to a battery is connected and we are moving from negative terminal to positive terminal of battery. From C dash to A point, through E, we are moving from negative to positive terminal of battery. If we are moving from negative to positive terminal of battery, potential will be taken as positive. Okay, so if we are moving from positive terminal to negative terminal of battery, potential drop will be taken as negative. Okay, if we are moving from negative terminal to positive, potential drop will be taken as positive. Okay, so this equation becomes minus IR minus 1 by 2 IR minus IR plus epsilon, that is EMF of the battery, equal to 0. This is according to the closed loop, where R is the resistance of each edge and epsilon the EMF of the battery. So epsilon is equal to 5 by 2 IR. So after solving this, we can come to an conclusion that epsilon EMF of the battery is equal to 5 by 2 IR. The equivalent resistance R equivalent of the network is, now we can find what is R equivalent, is the EMF of the battery connected upon the current flowing through the circuit. So what is the EMF? E upon what is the total current flowing through the circuit is 3I, that is initial current. In the circuit, in between the circuit, it is dividing among all the branches, but total current is 3I. And what is the EMF across the whole circuit? Epsilon, which is 10 volt. Okay, so R equivalent will be, we can find now R equivalent, potential upon current, that is Ohm's law. So what is the total potential across the circuit? Epsilon. What is the total current flowing through the circuit? 3I, equal to 5 by 6 R. So equivalent resistance of the circuit is 5/6R. So now for R equal to 1 ohm, it is given in the question R equal to 1 ohm, R equivalent is equal to 5/6 ohm, and for epsilon equal to 10 volt, the total current in the network is. So now put the values. 3I is equal to V upon R. So what is V? 10 volt. What is R? 5/6. Okay. So now after solving, we will get 12 ampere. Okay. So 12 ampere, 3I equal to 12 ampere. So I will be equal to 4 ampere according to Ohm's law. I equal to V by R. The current flowing in each edge can now be read off from the figure. Okay, so now from figure we can see the current flowing through each path. Okay, where I is written, current is 4 ampere. Where I by 2 is written, current is 2 ampere. And where 3I is written, current is 12 ampere. So it should be noted that because of the symmetry of the circuit, the great power of Kirchhoff's rule has not been very apparent in example 3.5. Okay, we have solved this numerical or this problem majorly with the help of symmetry. Okay, we haven't used much Kirchhoff rules here due to symmetry of the network. But if there is no symmetry of the network, we have to use the Kirchhoff's law. Okay, so it should noted that because of the symmetry of the network, the great power of Kirchhoff's rules has not been very apparent in example 3.5. Now example 3.6, determine the current in each branch of the network shown in figure. So this is the figure 3.17. Okay, so we have to determine the current in each branch. Okay, so let's see the solution. Each branch of the network is assigned an unknown current. Okay, in the diagram it is shown an unknown current. Okay, I1 or I2 or I3. Okay, or combination of all these. So each branch of the network is assigned an unknown current to be determined by the application of Kirchhoff's rule. So this is the diagram. You can see from section C, between A and C, there is a I1 current. Between section A and B, there is a I2 current. Between section path A and D, current is I1 minus I2. Or in path C to D, it is I2 plus I3 minus I1. Between path B to C, it is I2 plus I3. And in path D to E, it is I3, or D to E to B, it is I3 current. Okay, so unknown values of current are shown. We have to find this value of current. To reduce the number of unknowns at the outset, the first rule of Kirchhoff is used at every junction to assign the unknown current in each branch. Okay, the first rule of current is Kirchhoff is used at every junction to assign the unknown current. So to reduce the number of unknowns, we are now going to use Kirchhoff's current law. We then have three unknowns I1, I2, I3, which can be found by applying the second rule of Kirchhoff's rule to three different closed loops. Okay, now we are going to use the Kirchhoff's second law also. We are going to use two rules of Kirchhoff in one problem. Kirchhoff's second rule for the closed loop A, D, C, A gives. Okay, now in the loop A, D, C, A. Okay, you can see in the diagram what is it? What is the loop? A, D, C, A. So Kirchhoff's second rule for closed loop A, D, C, A, 10. Okay, so we are going in the direction of current from point C to A and A to D. Okay, so from point C to A, we can see the battery. Okay, we are going from negative terminal to positive terminal. As we are moving in the direction of current, direction of I1. We are moving in the direction of I1 from C to A and A to D and D to C. Okay, from C to A, you can move in any direction, but you have to write the potential drops according to that direction then. Okay, so in this problem we are moving, it is not specific. You can move in any direction. You can move from A to C, but we are moving from C to A. Okay, so I1 is in the direction, and we are moving in the current direction of current I1, and we are moving from negative terminal to positive terminal of battery. So 10 volt will be taken as positive. Okay, now from A to D, we are moving in the direction of current. Okay, so there will be potential drop which will be negative. So what is the current IR? What is the potential drop? IR. What is the current? I1 minus I3 from A to D into what is the resistance connected between A and D? 4. So minus 4 I1 minus I2. Okay, now we are going from D to C section. Okay, D to C. Now we are moving against the direction of current. Okay, so what is the current flowing? I2 plus I3 minus I1. And what is the resistance? 2 ohm. But we are moving against the direction of current from D to C. So it will be taken as positive. So plus 2 I2 plus I3 minus I1. Okay, now when we are moving from C to A, there is 1 ohm resistance and we are moving in the direction of current. So minus I1 into 1. Okay, so it can be written minus I1 will be equal to 0. Okay, according to Kirchhoff's second rule, voltage law. In a loop, the sum of all the potential change in potential will be equal to 0. Okay, this is Kirchhoff's second rule on the closed loop ADCA. Now, that is, after solving this, we can come up to an equation 7I1 minus 6I2 minus 2I3 equal to 10. This is equation 3.6.1, 3.61 A part. Okay. For the closed loop ABCA, we get, so for closed loop ABCA, now A, you can see in diagram ABCA. Okay, we are moving again from C to A to B and B to C. Okay, so from moving C to A, we are moving from negative terminal to positive terminal of battery that is connected 10 volt. So we'll take positive 10 volt. Now, from A to B, we are moving in the direction of I2 current. Okay, so potential drop will be taken as negative. So what is potential drop? IR. What is the current flowing through? AB minus I2 means I2. I2 into 4. IR. I2 into 4. And it is having negative sign because we are moving in the direction of current. So minus 4 I2. Now from B to C, we are moving in the direction of current, which is I2 plus I3. And what is the resistance? 2 ohm. So minus 2 I2 plus I3. And from C to A, we are moving in the direction of current and 1 ohm resistor is connected. So minus I1. And sum of all the potentials will be equal to 0. So after solving, I1 plus 6 I2 plus 2 I3 equal to 10, which is equation 3.61b. Now for closed loop B, C, D, E, B, we get for B, C, D, E, B. Okay, outer loop, that other triangle, B, C, D, E, B. Okay, that E is for 5 volt battery. Okay, now apply the rule. Now we are moving from D to E, E to B, or B to C, C to D in this direction. Okay, so we are moving from negative terminal to positive terminal of battery. So it will be taken as 5 volt. Now from B to C, we are moving in the direction of current. So minus 2 I2 plus I3. Now from C to D, we are moving in the direction of current. So minus 2 I2 plus I3 minus I1 will be equal to 0. This will be our third equation. After solving, 2I1 minus 4I2 minus 4I3 equal to minus 5. So this is 3.61c. Now these three equations you have to solve by any method, substitution, displacement method, okay, that you use to solve in mathematics. Okay, by substitution method, by displacement. You can solve if three equations are given and three variables. There are three variables, three equations are given. You can solve this by substitution or by displacement. Okay, equation 3.61 A, B, C are three simultaneous equations in three unknowns, three variables. These can be solved by usual methods to give I1 equal to 2.5 ampere, I2 will be equal to 5 by 8 ampere, and I3 will be equal to 7 by 8 ampere. Now current in various branches, you can see. Now you have calculated I1, I2, I3. Okay, now for branches that is I2 minus I3, I2 plus I3 minus I1. For that branches you have to calculate. Okay, after adding or subtracting the currents I1, I2, I3. So in various branches you will get in AB branch 5 by 8 ampere, in CA branch 1 by 2 ampere, in DEB branch, okay, that is 7 by 8 ampere, in AD branch 7 by 8 ampere, and CD branch, in CD branch there is 0 current, and in BC branch 1 by 2 ampere. Okay, so in all the branches we have calculated the current. So it is easily verified that Kirchhoff's second rule applied to the remaining closed loop does not provide any additional independent equation. That is, the above values of current satisfy the second rule for every closed loop of the network. Okay. For example, the total voltage drop over the closed loop BADEB. Okay. So we have solved all the problem. Okay. We have find out all the variables I1, I2, I3 with 3 loops. Okay. If we take another loop, this will not give us any additional information. Okay. It will only increase the number of equations, but will not give any additional information. Okay. That's why if we are taking B, A, D, E, B, if we are taking this loop, this is additional loop that we are not taken in the solution of this problem. Okay. Now we can take this loop also, but it will not give any additional equation. Okay. So if we calculate now, solve the all the potential drops or gains we can consider, it will result in zero potential in a closed loop. Okay. Now in BADEB, okay, 5 volt we are going from negative to positive terminal of battery. From D to B we are going. Okay. So 5 volt will be positive. Now we are going from B to A. We are going in the opposite direction of I2 current. So now positive sign will be taken. Okay. What is the current? I2 5 by 8 into 4 ohm. Okay. Now from A to D, we are going in the direction of current I1 minus I2. So what was that? 15 by 8 into 4 ohm current. Okay. So after solving this, it will be equal to 0. So this is equal to 0 as required by Kirchhoff's second rule. Okay. So another equation will not give any additional value. Okay. So if you apply, now you have calculated the 3 variables or unknowns. Now if you apply this rule at any loop, okay, you can take any arbitrary loop in the diagram, you will get the 0 result according to Kirchhoff's voltage rule. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed and understood well the lecture.